You asked for it, and we are delivering. Welcome to the one and only All Access podcast, all about your Blue Comets football. Welcome to Beyond the End Zone, Blue Comets football, with head coach Calvin Brown. This episode is sponsored by Burge Flower Shop.
Welcome to the one and only All Access podcast for you, the fans, on your Blue Comets football. Welcome to Beyond the End Zone, Episode 3, Compete. Today's episode is sponsored by Burge Flower Shop. I'm Jay with Sports in the Borough, and beside me is head coach Calvin Brown. This episode is called Compete, and that is exactly what you all did against the Wildcats. Everyone was predicting a blowout, and that wasn't the case. We saw something we haven't seen in a while, competitiveness, Coach.
Yeah, I was real pleased with how we competed Friday night against Eastern Randolph. Very good football team. I felt like our guys played really hard. I'm not sure many people in the stadium expected us to compete the way we did. Inside our locker room, we felt like that. We felt like we could compete and win. And looking back at it, and we'll review it here in a little bit, but we could have won, and I think we could have put ourselves in positions to win. We just missed on a few opportunities that we had throughout the game, but we did play hard and compete for sure.
And Coach, I'm going to throw out a few things. Versus Eastern 2022, 69-7. 2021, 49-7. Last week, 16-27. I mean, Coach, that says a lot, those scores right there.
Yeah, they had been really bad versus Eastern Randolph. Year in and year out, they're a really good football team, and we knew that coming in. And we just preached to our guys about fighting and competing all night, and we did that, and we were able to keep the game close. We really liked our game plan coming in. We felt like we could slow their offense up a little bit. We felt like there were some things we could take advantage of offensively, and I think we did both of those things. And like I said, we just missed on a few opportunities throughout the game.
And going off those opportunities, Coach, I mean, you had, 3 turnovers, and a couple of them really you just couldn't capitalize on. You got in the red zone, and you went 4 and out. Yeah,
there. I think 2 times we were inside the 10, and we got a total of 3 points out of those 2 times, and that hurt. Not being able to put it in the end zone there a couple of times. So not being able to score there when we were inside the 10, the times we were there and couldn't score hurt us. Missed opportunities there. Defensively, we gave up a few big plays. So there was things throughout the whole game that really hurt us, from being able to get a win. We played them close, but we felt like we could have got a win.
You mentioned it. Let's dive into the first quarter. We came out good again, special teams rolling. You pushed the ball all the way down to the red zone, and then you're so close, but you have to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, we struggled getting those last couple of yards. They loaded up the box and brought pressure there at the goal line. We couldn't quite get it in. We're on the 2-yard line, and early in the game, 0-0 game, I just wanted points on the board, so we sent our field goal team out there and to go ahead and give us a 3-0 lead, which we held the entire first quarter. So that was good for us to have a lead. I feel like if we don't get any points there, it's demoralizing. So at least we got points on the board. We'd like to have 7, not 3.
You almost stopped them in their first series, Coach, Eastern, but they called a risky 4th and long fake punt that paid off, Coach. I mean, did y'all see that coming, or what was going on here?
I knew that they had that in there, that they could do that. That's stuff they've done in years past against us. So we knew that. We were prepared for it. We hadn't seen it in the film we had on them, but we were prepared for it. And a couple of our guys just made They did not do what they were coached to do. We'll say that, and so they were able to fake it and pick up the first down. Once we got it coached up again on the sideline, we was good the rest of the night. But that was frustrating. That was something we had talked about and worked all week, making sure they couldn't get that on us, and then our guys didn't execute. So that was frustrating. But our defense came out of the gate, got a big stop, forced them to punt. They pick up the fake punt first down. They go down, and then we get another stop down at the goal line, which is huge for our defense.
It was huge. I mean, it was very. It had the crowd wild because, they're in the red zone. You're like, oh, boy, here they go. They're going to score. They just got the momentum off the fake punt. But Mabry with a huge strip that just, game changer.
Yeah, and that's one thing I can say about our defense. They played so well, but Eastern was about to score, but they didn't just lay down and let them get in the end zone. We were fighting. We get a big stop there. Mabry gets the tackle, wraps the guy up, strips him. And honestly, Mabry was out running the other way, and the officials had to come apologize to me for an inadvertent whistle. Luckily, they blew the whistle after he had stripped the ball and had it. But I don't know how far maybe we would have got, but we didn't pick up a few more yards. But because of the inverted whistle, they had to spot the ball where they blew the play dead at.
He had the big eyes like he was ready to take it to the house, Coach.
Yeah, and maybe he's a good athlete for a defensive lineman, so I think he could have helped with field position in that situation there.
And you're bragging about your defense, Coach. 46 solo tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 4 4 fumble recoveries and a sack. You finally got the sack, Coach. What did you see in week 2 versus last week? Good, and what you need to work on.
Yeah, after going back and reviewing film, I was extremely pleased with our defense. They played hard. They executed better. We're still a few mistakes here. I told them yesterday at practice we gave up too many big plays. If we can eliminate getting up the big plays, we're going to be all right. We made, a lot of tackles. We're flying around getting to the football, but they had 2 or 3 big throws that really hurt us. That kind of flipped the game a little bit, in my opinion. So defensively, that's the one thing we're going to work on is eliminating the big plays the other team's getting against us.
And, Coach, was it just tired because towards the end they started giving up? You could see the run was starting to push through again because they were stopping it. They were playing hard, but towards the end it just looked like, I don't know if they were just too tired or what was going on.
I don't know if it was that. I'm going to give credit to Eastern Randolph and their quarterback. I mean, he made a great run, and he made one guy miss in the open field for that long touchdown run. There in the fourth quarter, we've got it to a 5-point game. If we can get one more stop, I liked our chances the way the offense was moving the ball. And their quarterback made a heck of a play and went for 60 yards or whatever for a long touchdown run. It kind of sealed the victory there for the Eastern. But he made a great play. He's a great player. So at some point that was going to happen. We should just not have been in that situation. I felt like we should have had the lead late if we'd have played a little bit better.
Looking back before we dive into these stats, is there anything defensive-wise you wish you would have fixed or wish you would have changed going into it or during the game?
No, like I said, I feel like our defensive game plan was great. What our defensive staff did to get our guys ready, we were in position. If we don't give up the 3 big pass plays throughout the course of the game, I think that's what kind of got us. And once again, it's nothing. We trust our guys. We made a bad timing on a jump. We got turned around one time, and there was just a blown coverage one time. But we trust our guys in our secondary. We're getting better each week, and so we feel like we're going to be okay. But if it wasn't for 3 of those big plays, I like where we're at.
And I know Spencer had to be excited on the sidelines with his first sack of the season. That was huge to see.
Yeah, for our defense to get pressure, I felt like we got to him one time, but I felt like there was some times we forced him to leave the pocket and roll out a little bit because we got to him some pressure.
And those fumble recoveries, those were huge. 4 of them, Coach. That's big stat.
Yeah, and that's just our guys with effort. And creating fumbles and getting fumble recoveries is nothing but effort plays. If you can fly around and be physical and then play hard, good things happen, and I felt like that was happening for us Friday night.
All right, Coach, I got to go to offense stats. 22 for 36, 317 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions, but still amazing stats, minus the 2 interceptions.
Yeah, Logan played great at the quarterback position Friday night. The 2 interceptions, really, one of them
was deflected, right?
One of them, you have a defensive lineman that's going to the Carolina Division I guy who jumps up and he's huge and deflects it and intercepts it himself. That's just a great play on that guy. Nothing to do with Logan. And then we threw an interception there late, under a minute to go. We're in hurry-up mode. It actually went through our receiver's hands, and their corner got it after that. So really, Logan played unbelievable. Some throws he made under pressure all night. Stepping up in the pocket. His last touchdown throw, we completely missed the pass protection, and Janai Norwood had a free run at him. He stayed in the pocket, delivered the throw as he took the hit for a touchdown. So Logan is a tough kid.
He didn't back down from the
He did not, and he played well. Threw the ball really well and really kept our offense and our team in the game because of how he was throwing it. And fortunately, we got some guys that can make plays. So when he throws it, we got some guys that can catch it, and then once they get it in their hands, can do some things with it.
And last episode, you kept mentioning look for number 1. Well, we had another person, Amari Godwin. I feel like he looked for him too, and he showed out.
Yeah, Eastern, you could tell they were keying on Elijah. They wanted to make sure where Elijah was, and that's fine. If teams want to do that, we've got other guys we can go to. And Amari, we knew he was a great player, great athlete, and he made some big plays in week 1, some couple good catches, and then he really showed out against Eastern. I think he went 8 catches for 147 yards, something like that. But he made some unbelievable plays throughout the night in the passing game for us.
And Coach, he got his 2 touchdowns. He made some big time plays last week, but this week he put it in the end zone.
Yeah, we were able to find him and deep in the passing game. He caught one earlier, he got tackled short. Or had 2 of them, he got tackled inside the 10. But then he went up and made plays. We threw him a jump ball, fade in the back of the end zone where he went up and made a play. Then he ran a great route late in the game, and Logan was able to find him. But Amari he has great hands, catches the ball well, runs good routes, and he's a playmaker. When the lights come on, he's going to make plays.
And Elijah Woodle almost got his 4th touchdown. He just got stopped a little shy. But he still had a great game.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he had several catches again, and we found him deep one time. He was able to get behind them, and he made an unbelievable catch, and they tripped him up right before he got in the end zone. But he still made some great plays. Logan was able to find him in some traffic early on in the game, and once Elijah gets in his hands, he's going to make things happen.
And, Coach, I got to mention a player. He's under the radar for teams, I feel like, but I call him Mr. Clutch, Aiden Robinson. I mean, every time when you needed that first down, you knew he was going to catch it and get that first down.
Aiden's a great possession receiver. He's going to find a hole somewhere in there, 8 to 10 yard range, and Logan can find him. Once again, he's just another weapon we have in the receiving core. But once he catches it, he's another guy that can make plays. So we got weapons all over the field. Aiden's an unbelievable receiver to go with Elijah in the slot. And then you got Ben Luck and Amari out there out wide with Leighton Coberly. So we've got some guys that definitely can catch the football. And,
Coach, I feel like I'm a broken record. The run game, Coach. I know you said you're going to work on it. It was still a little bit in your defense. One of your top running backs got hurt at halftime and didn't come back.
Yeah, I felt like early in the game we really started having a little success running the ball, way better than we did against Albemarle. Our running backs were hitting the holes harder. We were doing a little bit better.
And I feel like Jalen Moore had some momentum.
Jalen had some good runs. Kai had 2 really good runs and then fumbled the football. So we had some big runs early on, and then just late, we struggled late with it. But our running game was better, for sure, from where it was week 1. We just got to keep improving on it. We don't have a traditional big running back. We're talking Jalen and Kai. Those are guys that are traditionally slot receivers that we've put into the backfield. So we don't have a traditional running back. We're just trying to make them into one, and they're doing a great job, and they'll continue to get better as we go in through the season.
You started out hot with the run game. We saw Jalen Moore going to half get hurt. Do we know what happened there?
Yeah, Jalen, he banged his leg a little bit. His leg's swollen, but we don't think it's anything serious. Luckily, we're on a bye week this week, so he's able to get some rest this week, and the trainers told me going into next week he should be back full go by next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be disappointing coming out of halftime, especially it was literally the end of the first half. He gets hurt, and you're trying to get your team to keep the momentum, even though you're losing a key player.
Yeah, and Jalen, he gets more reps than anybody at running back for us, and he plays every snap at strong safety for us on defense. So to lose him hurt us, but man, we had guys step up late in that game in the second half. Ben Luck took his spot defensively and went out and played really well. And then offensively, Kai gave us what we needed to so we could continue to go offensively throughout the game.
And Ben Luck got banged up a little bit, but he went right back in and, played with his heart.
Yeah, Friday night was a rough night for both teams. It was so hot. Both teams had guys cramping and different things. And just everybody, I was real pleased how everybody pushed through. Nobody complained. Nobody wanted out. We caught a few cramps here and there, and as soon as they got the cramp out, they were wanting back in the game.
And, Coach, let's go total. We're going to move on from the game. Logan Laughlin, he may have had 2 interceptions, but so far this year, out of 2 games, he's 38 for 60, 541 yards, 5 touchdowns, Coach. I mean, he's coming out, and he is setting the passing game, something we haven't seen in a while.
Well, I feel like Coach Haney does a great job with our passing scheme to get guys open. And our receivers are starting to understand that, how to get open on routes and where the holes are. We spend a lot of time talking about that with our guys. And Logan is such a smart football player that he's understanding where those guys are at. They're starting to get, relationships there. They're starting to figure out where they're going to be. He's building connection with our receivers, and that's just going to help us going forward. And then Logan, his arm strength is unbelievable, and his presence in the pocket. When he has to leave the pocket, he's running, he's looking to still throw the football. He made some throws the other night on the run that were just unbelievable, back across his body, finding open guys. So he's a great football player, and we've got him paired with some receivers that are really, really talented, and it's helping our passing game really take off.
And we're bragging about Logan, and I don't think there's any better person to pick out for our Inside the Blue Comets locker room than Logan Laughlin.
Now it's time to go inside the Blue Comets locker room. Brought to you by Coach's Neighborhood Grill. Make sure to support them in their support of Blue Comets football.
Welcome to Inside the Blue Comets locker room, and we are here with Blue Comets starting quarterback Logan Laughlin. Logan, thanks for joining us here. All right, all my listeners, I got some good news. He's only a junior, so we got him for another year after this. Logan, we're excited.
Yes, sir.
And for your first year at Ashboro, before we get that, did you know today's episode was sponsored by Burge's Flower Shop? You got a girlfriend?
No.
You don't? You got your mama? You got a mama, right? Yes, your mama's around? Yeah. You can get her some flowers at Burge's, Burge's Flower Shop. That's where I always get mine for my wife. Let's get the ball in the end zone on this. First year at Ashboro, Logan. How's the transition going?
It's going great. I think I was really welcomed in by the guys and the coaching staff, and I just fell in love as soon as I walked on the field with them.
And it's cool because you're coming in with a new coaching staff, so they're new as well.
Yes, sir. When I remember when I first came here, I got a tour of the school, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to find my way around this place. And Coach Brown was like, didn't know where to go either. Coach Nance had to take us on the tour so we didn't get lost anywhere.
Coach Nance always saving the day, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like he's everywhere.
He is.
And some great things happening here as well, as you're talking about. I mean, all the renovations. We're getting a Jumbotron on the basketball court and on the football field. That's got to be pretty exciting knowing that.
It is. I've never played on the field with a Jumbotron, but it's going to be pretty lit when you're out there and you see yourself up on it.
All right, Logan, let's talk about some great things you've done so far. 38 for 60, 541 total passing yards, 5 TDs, 2 interceptions, but not all your fault. Couple of deflections and a missed catch. Not bad for a QB. That's pretty impressive stats. I feel like I just broke the news to you about your great stats.
Yeah, you did. He don't enter on max prep, so I really don't try to keep up with it to get too big-headed. I just try to stay level-headed and go out and do it the next game as well. I knew coming off the Albemarle game that I was like, it's a bigger week going in the ER, and I was going to have to make something happen. And when we can't run the ball, we're going to have to throw it. So the ball's in my hands and the receivers, so I got to put the ball, they can make plays. And I feel like we did that, but come up a little short.
And what did you take away? Because, you had a lot of passing yards last week with only 16 points. That's,
we got inside down the 10 watching film like 3 or 4 times, and ER beat us by 11. So when we get down inside 10, we got to be able to run the ball. It's kind of hard to pass it down there, but we made stuff happen later on in the game. But, you just got to be able to punch it, run it in. But our coaching staff will get the run figured out. We'll be straight going into conference or next week.
And the thing that that stood out to me was it's got to be tough knowing that you get down the red zone and you can't punch it in. What stops you from putting your head down? Because it's got to be frustrating, not once but twice it happening.
The first time it happened, I was like, all right, well, we kicked the field goal, and I was like, what I throw? I throw like a 20-yard pass to Amari and got down to the 1, and we couldn't score. So I ended up having to settle for 3, and that didn't make me mad because I knew we got points out of it, but us getting down to the two-yard line, and we gotta punch it in at that point, and we go up 7-0 on our first drive against a good ER team. But the second or third time, I knew once we couldn't run the ball, I was gonna have to make stuff happen, and the receivers gonna have to make stuff happen. And when I told them, I said, come to the sideline, I said, guys, we're gonna have to make something happen. The running game's not it this week. So we just kept going, and then our defense played very well last week. We just can't let the big plays happen.
That's exactly what Coach said earlier about just can't let the big plays happen, because that was a game changer switch of the momentum. 3 stops, and you guys score on those 2. We're looking at potential win.
Right. I think we're like 2 or 3 touchdowns better than the ER. When we get inside the 10-yard line, we got to be able to score or at least get points out of it. I feel like Coach Parrish is going to talk with the O-line and get them better, and our running backs did a better job of hitting the hole this week. With Jalen, he's a little banged up, but he'll be back against Providence Grove. And then Kai, who's got to take care of the ball, but he ran the ball hard, and so did TJ. But when we get inside the 10, we just got to be able to score, and I think that's what kept us out of that game.
And you got some chemistry with your wideouts. I've seen it in practice and on the field between, Amari Godwin having a phenomenal game and Woodle with 2 phenomenal weeks. And then you also got Aiden, which is a familiar face to you. And then you got Ben Luck. How does it feel? And what's the chemistry like with your wideouts?
During the week, we go swimming with each other, stay at each other's houses over the summer when I first came here. I remember my second week here, I stayed at Ben's house with Ben, Layton, and Aiden. And then,
was Coach Luck there? He was giving y'all a hard time?
Yeah, he was. We stayed the night and played Madden and stayed up to like 1 in the morning on a Thursday. So the chemistry's good, and Elijah and Amari, I hang out with them all the time and go to the games, keeping each other like around each other all the time, not just on the field, off the field too. Our chemistry's really good.
And I feel like you got some comedians. I feel like but when y'all all together, I can't stop laughing when I'm at practice.
Yeah, Ben Luck and Aiden and Layton, all comedians. We pick on Layton a lot about his girlfriend, and Ben's all the time on me. and Aiden. So they're the two biggest comedians, and me and Leighton's kind of like getting picked on all the time.
So should we tell Leighton about Burge's Flower Shop being our sponsor so he can go get flowers for his girl?
Yeah, we should tell Leighton about that one.
All right, so you got a tough loss to Eastern, but it was a battle. What did you take away from that battle?
I mean, just run the ball. We played really good on the offense side of the ball. I think no one can stop our offense because as soon as they try to, like Elijah had a big week 1, and they try to hone in on him, and look at what Amari does. He pops off, and I was finding Ben and Aiden and Leighton and Amari and all them. They were just everywhere on the field. So really, if anybody tries to double team someone else is going to step up and make plays. And I think Amari kept us in that game.
He's a good ball player. It's funny, my wife actually taught him way back at Balfour. But he's a phenomenal athlete. I mean, he even had some big catches week 1, but then to turn around and get 2 touchdowns, I mean, and like you said, they're trying to shut down Woodle, and then you go, that's fine, and you go to your other weapon. That's got to be exciting to have.
It is. He made a couple big 4th down catches. We were driving in our first drive, and we got the 4th down in like 10 or something, and I looked off the safety to the left to Elijah and come back to Amari and put the ball in the air. He made a great catch on the 1, and we ended up having to settle for 3, but he got us those 3 points easily. We'll just got to be able to score.
And then I call him Mr. Reliable, Aiden Robinson. When you know you need that first down, I feel like you can always count on his slot receiver coming up that middle and just a dump pass right to him, and he's going to take it for 5-7 yards.
It is. Him and Elijah in the slot are deadly. And when I'm looking for a first down, I'm obviously going to look for them first. They're somewhere, they're going to find a hole where I can see them. And if I'm going to scramble, they're always coming back. I remember one time I stepped up in the pocket and getting held by 3 dudes, and my arm come out the pocket and found Elijah on like a flick pass, and he took it for like 20. So that's just incredible, the way they like know me. Like when I start scrambling, they're coming back to the ball so I can find them.
And, I mean, they made you look pretty good, QB. I mean, you were named the Coach's Neighborhood Grill Player of the Week the other week, right?
Oh, yeah, they did.
Did you go get you some good grub?
I did.
That's
it was
awesome.
very good.
They're great. They're actually another sponsor for us, which is great to have. And as we move on, all right, you got a bye week, all right? The loss, put it behind you, learn from it. As you go 2 weeks to prepare for a familiar team for your coaches, Providence Grove, what are you working on to help your team out against a defense that has only given up 19 points as of today? They played tonight. But as of today, they've got 19 total points they've given up.
I mean, I don't think they can stop our offense, not being cocky, but the way that we like commute with each other, they can't stop us. But going into this week, we have to prepare like we're playing on Friday, even though we have a bye week, and Coach Brown's going to give us a day off. So, I mean, we're going to go to a PG game on Friday night and watch them and see what we got to do to beat them. I know it's going to be an emotional game for all the coaches going back there. But we're going to have to go in there and take away a win.
You've been playing ball for a long time. When you have that first away game, what emotions does it bring?
It brings a lot. I mean, you just have to be locked in from the time you step on the bus to the time you get off. You can't get sidetracked and be off in left field. Especially when you go into a away game, you know you're going to hear the crowd and stuff like that and people chanting at you. So everybody just got to be locked in and ready to play like we have on our home games. We can't take a away game for granted. I mean, Asheboro's going to travel with us, so they're going to have people there too. Yeah, I think they'll come. We just got to go in locked in and ready to whoop PG on Friday.
And here's the thing, emotions are going, and it's very important to share those emotions with your O-line. How are you and the O-line just getting ready for this game together? Because you got to have a good O-line. I feel like Coach Parrish is doing a phenomenal job.
He is. He's doing a great job with our O-line, and he keeps telling me after some of the games, the hits I take, he's like, we're going to get it better, and it has gotten a lot better, and I believe in him. I tell people all the time, like, y'all O-line's not that good. I was like, well, Coach Parrish is going to get it figured out. I said, I hope, no doubt in my mind that he's not. But the O-line is just, every time that they let me get a hit, they're back there to pick me up or making sure I'm all right, and I just love them to death. Every time I see them in the hallways, they're all the time running up to me like, hey, what are you doing? How you doing? This, that, and the other.
They carry your books for you at least?
Yeah, they do. Speaking of that, I saw a TikTok the other day. It's like, what's the best position in football? And it's like the quarterbacks, protectors. And I was like, I reposted. I was like, yeah, that's right. Can't do nothing without your O-line.
I told Coach he needs to make sure he does your class schedule next year, so they're walking you to class every period. You got your big old line following you.
Yeah. I have to get a shirt that says, I love my O-line.
I hope you get him a good Christmas present.
I will.
All right, so speaking of that O-line, and let's move on to your other coaches. Coach, what has Coach Brown and your coaching staff taught you so far, and how much do you trust / buy into this program?
Oh, I trust this program a lot. when I walked in here, I knew the coaching staff, and I always wanted to play for Coach Brown and Coach Handy. I fell in love with them, and the way they treat me and everybody treats me, I love it. It's just great down here.
I feel like they have instilled that confidence because you didn't back down. You went against a D1 commitment to ACC school, powerhouse school, and I'm not saying that because I'm a big Tar Heel fan. But, I mean, you didn't back down for Norwood. You literally took that hit. You got back up. Like you said, your O-line picked you up. And, I mean, you had a confidence, and there's a difference between cockiness and confidence. You had a confidence that makes me as an Ashboro fan, and I'm sure everyone else that are alumni like me, very excited to watch you play.
It is. I mean, whether you go to the next level or not, I mean, there's going to be guys you play against. I mean, my first pass, I think I rolled out and I threw it to Mari or Ben, and he dropped it. And I heard him run by. He said it's going to be all night. I was like, I'm going to do it all night too. And I went out and gave my team the best chance to win, but we came up a little short. So I feel like I could have done better because we lost. But I mean, there's no point of backing down either. You're going to back down to be scared and get whooped by 30. You're going to step up and try to help your team win.
And it's got to be a lot of confidence from your coach that they lift you up, because I saw you on the sideline. You know, when you knew you were going to take that loss, your coaches, pat you on the helmet, telling you it's going to be okay to keep your head up.
Yeah, they did. Jalen come over there and he was like, it's going to be all right. We're going to bounce back. And then Coach Brown and Coach Handy and Coach Taylor and Coach Spencer and Coach Parrish, all of them was coming over there and like, it's going to be all right. When I threw that pick, when it went through Aiden's hands, and I was kind of frustrated at that point, but they told me just keep my head up, and I was like, we're going to bounce back next week. So.
Yeah, and you got some good coaching staff. And talk a little bit about Coach Handy, your OC.
Oh, he's funny. We'll be in practice sometimes, and we'll make a good play or a good ball, and he'll be like, great, love it. And then he'll just say a bunch of like stuff back to back to back and just crack me up all the time. And then every time we have defensive period, we're over there talking to Ben and Leighton and cracking up, taking on Leighton. But Coach Handy, I love him to death.
That's awesome. He's a great offensive coordinator, and you got a head coach that's just, I mean, he knows the game. Coach Brown, dude, it's impressive. I don't think I've seen a coach in my years that knows the game like Coach Brown.
No. We played him last year when I was at Random. We played him at Pete. He was at Providence Grove, and I was like, dang, he's hell of a coach. Just everything he does, he's smart. I mean, they started watching film Sunday after our loss to ER. We don't play PG for 2 weeks away. I walk in the gym class and Coach Handy's watching film, and I walk over there and watch 2 plays against Southern. And I was like, well, that play's going to be open, that play's going to be open. So they're just all the time studying film, giving the team the best chance to win. When I walk in on Monday, they got a game plan, and I'm just there to follow it and make plays with it.
I mean, I'm excited for you this year, Logan. And I got to ask you another question. Are we going to see you throw on another uniform for Ashboro Athletics?
Yes, we are. Basketball season with Coach Nance.
Also, Coach Nance is everywhere. Now he gets our quarterback during basketball season.
He does. I remember when I came here for football, he cropped somebody in an Ashboro jersey and cropped my face on it, and he was like, we're getting this too. And I sent 2 laughing emojis.
Coach Nance is a character.
He is.
Have you wooed him yet? He loves some Ric Flair. Have you given him the woo?
No.
Do you think he'll bring out apparently the rumor has it he has the Ric Flair, the robe.
Maybe he'll bring that out during one of our conference home games.
I told him before he retires he's got to wear it and give everybody woo. All right, man. I'm excited to watch you at Providence, and you, the fans, need to be there to cheer on our quarterback, Logan, and the rest of your Blue Comets. September 8th, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Logan, you ready for it?
Yes, sir.
Coach Handy, I know you're listening, and I'm going to bring some popcorn. Thanks, Logan, for joining us on Inside the Blue Comets Locker Room.
Thank you.
Are you looking for an atmosphere where you feel you belong like Friday Night Blue Comets Lights? Coach's Neighborhood Grill is the place to be. Plenty of room for your family and friends to enjoy a good quality meal with a great team. Coach's Neighborhood Grill, proud sponsor of Beyond the End Zone, Blue Comets Football Podcast.
Coach, you got a great QB. And what's crazy is he's only a junior. Ashboro's in good hands.
Yeah, he's just going to continue to get better, and he's a student of the game. He wants to study and work hard, so he's just going to improve as we keep going throughout this year and into next season.
All right, Coach, you took a hard-fought loss. How do you get these guys to move on from it, but also learn from it?
Well, we told them, a lot of people in the community is patting them on the back. You played Eastern Randolph close. You played Eastern Randolph close, and We did, and we played hard, but at the end of the day, as a coaching staff, we told them, that's just, it ought to make us want it more, because we could have won that game. If we were able to put it in the end zone, punch it in the end zone a few times, don't give up the big plays, we might can win that football game, and it's a whole different story in the community than, hey, you played them close. So we're wanting them to take that and fuel them going forward, that we got every play matters. We've got to be better each and every week. We can't make those mistakes we're making, and if we can eliminate those mistakes, we can be a really good football team. And so we're just, during this bye week, we're trying to focus on eliminating the mistakes as we go forward, because our effort's been there. Now we just got to mentally get better.
And Coach, it's great to have a bye week after a tough loss, but it is early bye week, Coach.
It is an early bye week, and I'm not used to that, but now that we're here, I kind of like it, especially with our team, new coaching staff, new system. It gave us 2 weeks to see where we're at, and now we can go back and fine-tune some things. Instead of waiting to fine-tune them, we can get them fixed now, which we needed that as with our team, which everything's new. So it's a good timing for us this week as we prep for the remaining non-conference schedule here.
And Coach, you're preparing for a very familiar team, Providence Grove, who has a strong run game with Logan Fox. How are you preparing for this Providence Grove team that you've seen before? Yeah,
our coaching staff's very familiar with him, and I can't say enough great things. Logan Fox, what an incredible football player he is. Love that kid to death. He was a great player for us the past 3 years. His work ethic and stuff, I'm excited to see him having the success he's having this year. I care about him a lot, so excited to see that. So we're going to have our hands full stopping Logan, because he's a great football player. So we're going to have a tough task, but I know that our defensive staff will do what we need to do to put ourselves in position to win.
And how are you going to prepare for it seems like a quarterback who likes to run the ball?
Yeah, so they're playing James Ellis at quarterback. He's a first year at quarterback. He played receiver for us last year. We kind of had the idea of moving him to quarterback as well, and he's a competitor. Great football player, but he's more just a competitor. He does whatever it takes to win. So if he's got to run the football, and I know what they're doing offensively, he's running it some. And then when he needs to throw it, he can make throws. And like I said, James is another kid that's just a tough kid. He does whatever it takes just to help the team win.
And Coach, you and your coaching staff have to have emotions going, not just against your previous team, but your first away game is on your old home turf.
Yeah, you
don't have to line off the field for them.
It's going to be tough going there. I spent 11 years at Providence Grove, and I love that school, that community, and those kids. So it's going to be tough, but I'm going to make sure that we keep the focus away from me and my coaching staff, and it's on our Asheboro football team and us preparing to go win. The focus doesn't need to be on me or any of our coaches that week. But it's going to be kind of cool to sit back and stand on that sidelines and watch 22 players compete on the field, 11 for each team, and I've had an impact in all 22 players. And that's going to be pretty special to see everybody out there, the 11 we've got and the 11 they've got. At some point, I've had an impact in all 22 of those guys. And so that's kind of a cool thing that I'll take and soak in as the game goes along.
And how do you get your coaching staff to get in the right headspace and team? Because, I mean, you're going to hear people yelling. You're going to hear people trying to get in y'all's head. What are you preaching to these players and your coaching staff as you go against a familiar team?
Our coaching staff, I'm not worried about. They're going to go out and do things the way they need to do. They're going to prepare. They're going to focus on that. We've got one job that night, and that's going out and try to find a win. They'll do that. They'll keep their emotions in check until after the game, and when we can talk to some of them kids that we've been very close to over the years. But I'm not worried about that. And then with our team, I've had some of our guys say stuff to me, Coach, we want to get this one for you and things, and I'm just going to let them know it ain't got nothing to do with me. We're going out and trying to win for our players. It ain't got nothing to do with me. We're just focused on Asheboro trying to get to 2-1, and that's what we need to focus on.
And 2-1 would be amazing for Asheboro. And what are you doing with this bye week and next week, in practice to prepare for Providence Grove?
We're just staying with our same thing. We want to be better. Everything we do, we want to be better. So this week we need to be better than last week, and then next week against Providence Grove, we need to make sure that we're better. If we can eliminate the mistakes and continue to play hard, I think we will be.
Love it, Coach. And I have a challenge to the Blue Comet community to show up at Providence Grove on Friday, September 8th, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Let's not only attend to support our coaches, but our players who have fought and continue to fight this season. It's 22 minutes down the road. No excuses. They need the support and chance. Come on, let's cheer on Blue Comet Nation. Coach, anything to tell the community?
No, I would love to see them. September 8th at Providence Grove. I think it's going to be a great football game. I think it's going to be great for the Asheboro team, and it's going to be a special night. So we'd love to pack the stands and cheer on our Blue Comets that night.
And it's the first away game, so we need to make a statement, and that would be great to have the community come out and support this first away game.
Absolutely. Anytime we're playing here in Randolph County, it's a close trip. So if we can, support us and we go on the road like that, we'd love to see a full stands, even at away games, just like we had at home games. I thought our crowd against Eastern Randolph was huge and great, and we'd love to see the same thing at Providence Grove.
And Coach, I think we got to throw out a little gift. If someone will put in our comments on this video a picture of them at Providence Grove at the game, we'll throw you a T-shirt.
That sounds great. Yeah, we'd love to do that.
Yep, so we'll select somebody. Just make sure you put it in the comment of this episode. Put in a picture selfie. I know not everybody likes selfie mode, but we need a selfie of you at the game cheering on our Blue Comets. And let's give them a sneak peek, Coach. I think we're going to have another awesome video for at Providence Grove. I think we got to do it, don't you?
Yeah, I think we need a great video to release after that game. Hopefully it turns into a victory for us, but I think it'd be just a special night to release a video.
And I want to encourage everyone to check out our Blue Comets content on Facebook and at Instagram for BlueComet_FB. And make sure you go into Sports in the Borough YouTube channel and subscribe. The content will continue to grow, and it's all about our Blue Comets football. All right, Coach, and that is episode 3 of our All Access podcast for you, the fans, on your Asheboro Blue Comets football. And we want to thank our sponsor, Burge Flowers, for sponsoring this episode. And if you have a wife, girlfriend, distant cousin, whatever you want to get flowers for, you better go to Burge's Flower Shop. It's incredible. They've been there forever. They're amazing people. And Coach, I don't know if you've ever been there, but you better go get your wife some flowers right now from there.
You're putting the pressure on me to do that now.
All right, make sure you like, subscribe, and share so we can get this ball in the end zone for this podcast. See you at Providence Grove, September 8th, 7:30 p.m.
This episode was sponsored by Burge Flower Shop. Make sure you go by and support them for their support of Blue Comets football. Like, share, subscribe, and tune in to our next episode. Are you a business wanting to support Beyond the End Zone, Blue Comets football podcast? Don't miss your chance to be a sponsor for this all-access podcast on your Asheboro Blue Comets. Contact us at sportsintheborough22@gmail.com and learn about your sponsorship opportunities. Again, that is sportsintheborough22, all one word, @gmail.com. Contact us today.